Anyway, right, come on then. Okay. Take two. Right, what we got?
Yeah, so...
Shall we start with that introduction again, because I didn't feel as if we got that right either. Right, starting now.
3, 2, 1, now. Okay.
Come on then, go.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Matt, you're Toby.
And I'm Matt, and you're Toby. No, we're both Toby.
Thank you ever so much for joining us today. We thought we'd put a little podcast, a little video together to sort of explain some of the questions that we've been asked.
Celebrate
Exactly
where we are, because I tell you what, we didn't start in these luxurious offices, did we?
We didn't indeed.
It was more of a backshed operation until, I guess, somewhere along the way it got fantastic. Okay, so we've got some questions anyway.
Why don't you explain that to us in terms of how you came here today? Was there a eureka moment someone's put?
So there was a eureka moment, or there was a few eureka moments. I remember it was around about 10 years ago, really being penniless, really being broke, and thinking, what what am I going to do? How am I going to take my life forward? Not anything in particular. And so I started researching ways to make more money, and obviously on the internet, if you type in ways to make more money, there are lots and lots and lots of people that will sell you ways to make money. And I remember thinking, actually, if I had some money, then I'd gladly pay somebody. So there's a much better business model, or a much fairer business model, which is where you go, I will give you a way to make money, and then once you've made some money, pay me for that method. Pay me for the method. So it's kind of results paid. And I thought, that's a great selling point, and it kind of lodged in my brain. However, it wasn't available at the time, and so I scraped together some cash and I started on one of the systems, and these systems do work. And so yes, did make some money, and then made some more money, and then made some more money, and made some more money. But we got to a point where, I got to a point where I was like, actually, I'm making all this money using these systems, doing something I don't really love. What I actually want to do is show other people how to make money. And so if I'm any good at making money, then I can make money showing other people how to make money with what we were talking about earlier, a kind of try before you buy, make the money and then pay for it.
So moving on from there, vision, what would you want?
So
we spoke about it, I know, but
yeah. So the vision for me is, if you imagine a kind of X-Men school.
I always laugh at this.
Yeah, an X-Men school where it's in the countryside. It's a really nice people, and people that are they just haven't got anything, and they come along and they go, actually, I'm going to come and I'm going to stay in this academy. I'm going to be taught how to make money. I'm then going to be sent away from this place, and I'm going to have the tools, because there's people are going to show me how to make money. I've got a business idea. I've actually now got some funding, and so there's a massive intake of people that are wanting to learn, wanting to elevate themselves to the next level, and then they're going out with the support and the help and the knowledge to build a better life for themselves. And so if you imagine, it starts with one person going, actually, I'm making a better life for myself by using a very tried and tested technique. Now, the people in my environment, the people around me, can then see me doing that, and they're going to copy me doing that if I show them how to do it. We start showing that people, and so suddenly you've got a group of people that are going, wow, this is working for us. We're all making money. And then you go, okay, well, so let's take that and let's turn that into, expand that group. And so you've got a snowball that's going bigger, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, of people going, we're making more money in a creative way rather than a competitive way that's better for anybody else. And so when you then expand that across the country, and you go, suddenly the UK is now a country that is doing much better on a World Trade Organization, because people have understood that there is a better way to do business. There's a better way to do business that is just competing for something that's already there, which is just a scramble, and you're standing on the next person to create more, and now you're becoming a country that kind of creates wealth rather than competes for it. And so then other countries are going and looking towards that country, going, why? Because this method is it's the next process of evolution for humans, because we're getting to a place where suddenly it won't matter who's got money because we're evolving beyond it, but we need to go through this kind of journey through the Caesar's kingdom in order to find that next level, and so that's the dream.
I think that's what's missing. Is personally, again, school-wise, education-wise, we're the way that the education is from day dot is to be brought up in factories, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely right. That's it. You're taught how to be a worker. You're taught how to make money for somebody else. There's a saying, I think it says, you can either build your own dreams or somebody else will pay you to build theirs.
100% true.
And so that's where we are, and it's I think it is important for the evolution of humans. It's the next stage of development to go, actually every single person has got a unique value that they can contribute towards society, and if they didn't, they wouldn't be here. Whereas what we've got at the moment is we've got a system, and in the West and in the East, where actually it's about taking from that person to get. There's another saying is that humanity believes that in order to get itself bigger, it must gather to itself, because by gathering to itself it becomes bigger, whereas divinity knows that and understands that it's by giving itself away that it becomes bigger. And so I think if we all started just treating everybody else as if they were actually us and looking for what you could give rather than what you can get, then that's the whole concept of what we're talking about here, because we've all got something that we can give that will make that'll make the world a better place.
One of the other questions was in terms of books. I know Conversations with God struck a real chord with you.
It did. Conversations with God was probably so. There was two books. There was the Wallace Wattle, The Science of Being Rich, which was a very pragmatical, step-by-step guide, which I found and I followed, and that was, as I say, pragmatical. It showed you what to do. What Conversations with God, and I was turned off by the word God for years because I'm not very religious at all. I wouldn't say I'm anti-religion, but I am massively anti-religion. I don't buy into the dogmatism, but the word God just really didn't do it for me. So I didn't read it for years. But then when I did, actually, I discovered it was actually more of just a philosophical argument, fundamentally against religion as well. But that was the philosophy behind all of the New Thought explosion that happened in the 1900s. If there's a trilogy, I think that sums up the why we are here and the how we are here, it's the Conversation with God trilogy. And the thing for me about that was actually with religion, the reason that it turned me off so much was it just didn't make sense. Didn't make sense that there was some big beardy guy in the sky that needed to be worshipped. It didn't make sense that actually there were babies that were, if they were born into a family and weren't taught, and they would grow up to be thieves or whatever, that actually they'd go to hell. It just seemed very unfair, and none of it made sense. Whereas the philosophy that we're talking about now, the monistic theory of the universe, it not only makes sense on a mathematical basis, it's the laws of chance, on a scientific basis, the quantum theories all make sense, but actually the big thing about it is that even if it was all a load of nonsense, even if not a word of it was true, actually there's not a better way to live your life going, I'm going to treat everybody else as if they were me, so I'm going to be as nice as I can to everyone, I'm going to think really positively about anything, I'm going to find something that I love doing and doing it, and I'm going to live in harmony with my environment. And so even if it was all nonsense, actually what you're going to stop doing, so all right, I'll think negatively, or all right, I'll treat somebody else as if so there's no, for me it makes sense as I say from a mathematical point of view, it makes sense from a scientific point of view, it makes sense from just it just feels right. And so that's why that worked for me. And in answer to your question, Conversations with God, I think sums it up perfectly. But there's 1,000 other books that also all say the same thing, because what this philosophy is that what you put your attention on grows. So once you find it, once you discover this nugget. It's like you're following a trail of breadcrumbs, and they're becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, because everywhere you suddenly start looking, you start seeing the same thing. Now, if you look at the Bible, or you look at the Quran, or you look at the 1,000 spiritual books that are out there, fundamentally they all say the same thing, which which makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
I've got questions.
I've got questions. Yeah. I already asked this question to you in your garden, and your reply was really, really good, because. So I already know what it was, and I'm just going to touch on it. So it was, someone put a question in on Instagram, which was, what have you manifested, good or bad? And then your reply to it, which I thought was really amazing, was everything.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Well, as I kind of touched on earlier, you manifest everything that you. So I've been doing a little bit of research in terms of how you come to be who you are, and apparently in the first 7 years of your life you're in what's called theta stage, so you're just absorbing information. I think there's
and whatnot.
That's exactly right. There's a saying, if you give me a child until 7 and I'll give you the man, because actually you are the person that you're brought up. And I think, other than some kind of massive trauma in your life, or you remain that person, or you really try very hard to change, and so you're being told who you are. You're being told whether or not. And I think it's really interesting. I was actually talking somebody else about it, in terms of if you've got brothers, or what you find some people are good with the opposite sex, and some people are bad with the opposite sex, and either people that get girlfriends or boyfriends. but if you think about how your interactions are, you see, so I was the oldest of 3, and I had a younger sister that adored me, and I also had a lot of female cousins, and so now, in my life, when I'm talking to girls and things like that, you can see there's an element of girls that are just really into me, because they're really into the type of person that I am. Whereas I see other people that are the youngest, and they've had 2 older sisters that have hated them, and really, they find it very difficult. It's hard work. And if you look at any area of your life, you can actually trace back whether you find it easy or whether you find it hard to what happened when you were a kid. What were your influences? Did you have an adoring girl? Did you have an angry dad? Did you have somebody that kept going, well, there's not enough money, and actually, because you were just soaking up that.
Subconsciously you just take it all on.
It. You just
tiny little decision here or there, and you're here today, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly, that's it.
Cool. When I asked you that, was it big things or small things, and what have you manifested? So, well, literally everything that you want today, you have created in your life, and exactly. I just thought that was really good. Another customer was giving us really good feedback, but they just wanted to know sort of why you did create the course and that side of things. Maybe what is different about our courses to some of the others. I know it, but some of the guys might not.
Okay, so what we try to do is we set out to create, and this is not our first shot at it. We got it terribly wrong the first time. I say terribly wrong. We went in a direction. What we wanted to create
didn't work.
Exactly. It was something for the modern world. We're talking, actually, there are a number of philosophies, or there is a philosophy that's being told in a number of different ways, and will help and helping other people. So what we want to do is we want to capture everything. We want to give it in a digital course that you could carry around in your hand, and you could start and you could stop, and instead of going, have I got it, you're going through every single stage. This is exactly what to do. It will take you half an hour every single day. If you're prepared to put that half an hour in and you do that, then it will succeed. There's absolutely no question. You've got then, in order to assess whether you've moved on to the next stage of it, there's a multiple question and answer. So you go, actually, I'm going to ensure that you understand what you've learned before you move on. But also across every single module, there's either 2 or 3 exercises that you must do, and so so what we've tried to do is try to take out the greyness of it. We're going, actually, we fully guarantee that if you follow these instructions, this instruction manual, then you will be successful. Now, it stands the test of time if there is not one person that will come along and they'll say, there are people that have not succeeded in the course and they've said, I've not succeeded, and then you say, have you followed the instructions? And then you say, okay, then tell me what you've done at this specific point. They go, oh well, I haven't done that. And it's like, actually, it is work. It is hard work. You've got to do it. If you want to succeed and you want to be successful, then you must follow the instructions exactly, and that's what we want to deliver. Something that took all the grayness out of it. It was, do it and you'll succeed. If you don't do it, you might succeed, but it's not guaranteed. And so we wanted it to be mobile. We wanted it to be interactive. We wanted it to be, because for us, it's not that we just want to sell a course. And whether they succeed or not, it's very important to us, because what we want is we want a very high success ratio. We don't want to sell 1,000 courses and 2 people succeed. Yeah. We want to sell 1,000 courses and 999 of them succeed, and the other one's going to succeed in 6 months. Yeah, because they're trying. That's the important thing for us, because we fundamentally believe we're all one, and that when one of us rises, we all rise, because our aim is we don't need money. We're about ending poverty on planet Earth. That's what we're for.
I think you touched on a perfect point there. Is in terms of it is work.
Oh God, it's not rubber magic lamp and you'll get
no, and that's what people they think law of attraction or manifesting. It's like, I do it once and then why is it not here?
I know, I do get that, and I think that there is a place where actually you can do that, but if it's a place, but it's not in my reality, and so therefore it's not the reality around me. Because the thing is though, is if you go, oh, I wish this and it's there. I mean, I think if you'd been born to the son of a billionaire, and you'd lived, and you're now in your 30s going, I'm the son of a billionaire, how exciting would that be for you? How exciting would driving you've done it your whole life. You've had any car you've owned. It doesn't mean anything, because you don't know what it's like to not have it. And it's the same with this. Is we've kind of purposely created something, an environment for ourselves to live in, where you have to work at it because you want to enjoy it when you get there, and the only way you can enjoy it is by having a framework for reference where you go, actually, I do enjoy it, because I know what it's like to not have it, and I've been on on my arse going, where's the bit coming from, and actually I've had to work for it. I've had to work for it in order to get it, because but then it means something to you. Yeah. And when you're sitting on the yacht, you can go, I know what it's like, and I think we've done that on purpose.
Yeah. Other questions. So, why subscribe to us? Give us a why subscribe? Because it's awesome, obviously.
Yeah, why subscribe? Because it's awesome. You get daily reminders which plant seeds of positivity. Which actually, I was talking to another somebody else that's in the same field, and when he heard what the percentage of people that open our emails to the percentage that we got, he was like, that is that is brilliant.
They are amazing, I must admit.
Oh, thank you very much.
Initially it went through to my junk box, so I changed it, and honestly I screenshot them, I put them on the Instagram. They are
there you go.
Awesome.
Yeah, well,
they are really good.
Thank you very much.
Recommendations. This is probably a bit more from me personally. Things to do if you're just starting out. Is it maybe? And I think maybe one thing to. This is what I sort of questioned you. Maybe if there was one a little bit from here and a little bit from there. Is it yoga, a vision board, time to manifest, things you're eating?
It's so easy, that question. There's one thing that you need to do, and that is be grateful for the things that you've got. So gratitude is the most important thing. Yeah. As I say, I'm not religious, but Jesus went on about it loads. I thank thee, Lord, for this. I thank thee, thank you. Mm-hmm. So the thing is what gratitude does. And so you start off, if you imagine it's like a computer game, yeah? And so first of all, you're going, actually, what's the very first thing? When you smile, yeah, the movement of muscles in your face release positive endorphins that make you feel good. So I'm going to smile at you, and then you smile back. And so I feel good because the positive endorphins, even if it's only a tiny little bit, it's hardly recognizable. And then you smile back at me, and I get a smile as well. Yeah. And then I can smile at somebody else. And so you just get all of that free stuff, and you go, tick. I've got all the free stuff because I'm smiling all the time and I'm feeling grateful about the fact that actually somebody's put this water in a bottle and I've got to go to a hole and dig it. So I'm grateful for that. I flick some switches and light comes on. It's free electricity. It's not free, but it's nothing compared to I have to go and create it. I don't have to build a fire. When you go to bed, you're sleeping in a bed. You know what I mean? How great is that?
Something as small as that.
Something as small as that, which isn't. It's only small because you've got it. If you haven't got it, if you haven't got a bed, it's pretty major. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just being the most important thing is to go before you go to bed at night. Lie in bed thinking not about why haven't I got this or why haven't I got that or they've got this. It's going, oh my God, I've got this. Oh my God, I've got that.
It's almost like the awareness of.
It's the awareness.
Like you just said about the bed, and you wouldn't even think that.
That's it. Exactly. If you were born as a billionaire son, then you wouldn't have the awareness of all the great stuff you've got, and you'd be going taking all that for granted. Whereas actually, you nearly have been born a billionaire compared to a lot of people on the planet because you've got a bed, you've got a home, you've got electricity at flick of a switch, you've got gas that you can switch that cooks your food, you've got Tesco's that'll deliver to you. You just think of all of the billions of things that you can be really grateful for and just say thank you and feel thank you, because what that does is it not only aids in you getting more because what you put out comes back and what you're focusing on grows and focusing on something that's good, but also it stops you from being dissatisfied, which goes, actually, if you're grateful for something, or as opposed to actually if you're moaning about something, then you're suddenly in a different world, and a world of lack, a world of need, a world of want, that's just building more of that, rather than a world of gratitude that's building more things to be grateful for. So that, without hands down, gratitude is the single most, if you can do one thing, just be grateful.
And he's moving on from that, maybe a little bit off piece, but I was talking to somebody today about universe, the world, and everything that we live in, and he was like, oh, it's absolutely amazing. And I was like, the more I think about our planet, what we do in our lifetime, and how almost insignificant we are in terms of the rolling universe as it is, it always made me nervous, and I was always really, really worried and scared about death and what's going to happen after it. And the one thing he said was, and I said about maybe the different other planes and this, that, and the other. And it's like, well, what do you remember before you were born? And I was like, well, nothing. He's like, right, well, what do you expect to after? And I was like, well. And I was like, well, it can almost be quite sad in terms of you do all of this, you can put all this energy and effort in, and then for what legacy or what's going to happen at the end of it?
So I'll tell you what I believe, which is, do you know why you don't remember anything before you were born?
Sure.
There's a reason. And the reason you don't remember anything is because if you remembered it, you'd remember that you could just manifest anything you wanted and the game would be over. When you die, you still remember everything. You've got awareness because you don't need to pretend to forget, because actually there's no need to keep up the game anymore because you've gone through it. Now you might then choose to be born again and choose to forget, but the really important, the really good thing, the thing that's better than all of this here is the stuff that you've made yourself forget before you came here. And you'll remember all of the stuff here, and so you'll come through this lifetime, because anything that's flesh and bone and material is just goes, but you'll remember it because you've had an experience of it. You'll not need to forget it, whereas you do need to forget what's come before, because if you could remember what's come before, you'd remember that you just go, actually, I don't need to worry about anything. All I do is sit and think about it for a while. There's this time and space that I'm now in, so it's going to take a little while before it comes. But hey, there's nothing to. It's like, it's just a game. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, what we were saying is, I suppose you come to the end of it, and then I was like, and then what? And he was like, well, you don't know, do you? He didn't know, and I don't know.
You do, you just don't remember.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But then
You've
I was
chosen
like,
to forget.
yeah. Well, what we came out of that conversation, or the end of it was, well, you need to be grateful, because you are on this planet for a finite amount of time and limited time, and people forget that, and you might go to work for a man or the factory or the company or whatever and smash all of your entire life into it, and for what? So you might have that half hour of you time, or even just something tiny as in driving into that business or company or work or whatever, or just grateful for the little things you, again, take for granted or might not even ever think about.
And call them big things, because the thing is all you've ever got is that one now bubble that you're carrying around with you. And actually, all you really want is happiness. All you want is to feel good, and what makes you feel good is different to what makes me feel good, to make what everybody else feels good. And all you want to do is feel good. And I think that to feel really good, it has to be good for everybody and everything. Otherwise, it's not really good. It's just like a temporary fix that you're on the competitive plane. You're competing. You're going, or you're drinking, or you're drugs, or whatever it is that gives you a temporary fix. But to do sustained, actually, I feel good. I really feel good. I think you have to have purpose, and you have to be doing that thing purposefully. I think that if you're going to work for somebody every day, I don't think it's just about that half an hour. I think in order to live a fulfilled life, you've got to love what you're doing all of the time. And so my philosophy is that people have to love what they're doing all of the time, not just steal a little half hour here or a half hour there. Yeah, that's all great, but actually you need to be moving forward, moving up, because I think that the way that we've designed a system of life ourselves is to go, you're either moving towards a better place, or life is just whacking you with a big club until you move. So it's either getting better or it's getting worse.
But like you say, you've only got that now moment. Eckhart Tolle did that.
Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now, excellent. Power of Now.
I think he sat for 6 years on a bench, when you read the book and you listen to the audiobook and you engage in the power of now, it's like.
It's hard to do, isn't it? 6 years on a bench to do. Wow.
but just for that 1 minute, you read it and you stop and you think and you silence your brain, and it's literally silence, and it's like.
So do you meditate?
Not often, not as often as I should do.
Well, not should, or could, not as often as you could.
Yeah, but that one, like I said, maybe that minute of just silencing your brain and reading it and listening to it and just being in the power of now, it's like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I think we've rattled through all the questions.
Do you think that went alright?
Any other pearls of wisdom that you want to add? But no.
No, I think let's do some serious editing now.
Perfect. Cool.
That's goodbye for me.